Bond fan! So it seems like every time we get a new James Bond film release, we get a new release of this CD compilation, the Best of Bond James Bond. Much like how every Bond fan has a different ranking for the films, I'm pretty sure almost every Bond fan has a different ranking for the songs. I mean, these main title songs have been chronicling like 50 years of music, so there's so much of a variety of taste in there, a taste and style. It's weird to think that they're all songs from the same series, really. So yes, this list will be my personal top 10. This top 10 is just going to be the main title songs, I guess, or the main songs associated with the film. So for example, the James Bond theme itself is not going to be on this list because I'm just going to be doing the lyric songs, the songs that have singers and whatnot. There will be an entirely different list for James Bond score music, and suffice it to say, come on, what's the point of even putting the Bond theme in any of these lists? Obviously it's going to be number one. There's no point in even ranking it. The Bond theme is just, okay, let's rank it right. Bond theme number one out of every single song, soundtrack, note in any Bond film. Bond theme at the top, everything else comes below. But anyway, here is my top 10 James Bond songs. But before we get into that, let's have our honourable and dishonourable mentions. Dishonourable mention first, and you can all probably guess what this is going to be. I've ranted about Another Way to Die recently, so I shall sum up this dishonourable mention by quoting my own Quantum of Solace review, that this song is devoid of good lyrics, devoid of tune, devoid of anything that makes for a pleasant listening experience, and that it is quite possibly one of the worst things in the history of recorded sound. To back up my claims, I give you Exhibit A. It is completely beyond me how anyone can hear that and think, oh yeah, I really want to listen to more of this. I like Jack White and I like Alicia Keys, just not here and not together. What will forever rub salt in the wounds is that there are other rejected songs which are just unbelievably better. Seriously, search for Forever I Am All Yours by Ava Alma, and oh god, especially search for the Shirley Bassey song that David Arnold wrote. You'd have thought the producers would have learned their lesson from Tomorrow Never Dies, that you don't disregard David Arnold's songs because it's going to be better. And I'd have enjoyed the poetry of Bassey coming back to do just one more Bond song. The Bassey song is really wonderful. Just search for Shirley Bassey Quantum of Solace Rejected theme and you'll find it. It's great, and in my opinion, it's Bassey's best Bond theme. So on to happier things now, and the honourable mentions. The Living Daylights and Thunderball. I really like both these songs. They're great to me. Thunderball, to me, is an improved upon Goldfinger. I'm sure I'll be taken out for that opinion, but whatever. The Living Daylights is just a cool, fun to listen to song. They didn't make my top 10, but they're great songs. So let's get right into the rankings, shall we? Number 10. You Only Live Twice is a song that has really grown on me over time. I used to find it kinda dull and a little bit boring, but over the past few years I feel like I've started to appreciate it more and more. It's definitely one of the slower, less upbeat Bond songs, but it glides along so softly and elegantly. It's really hard just not to relax when you hear this song. Nancy Sinatra gives a beautiful vocal performance, and I love how much this song is used in the score, or at least the tune is used in the score for the film You Only Live Twice. It's a really nice and sweet tune, and that's why it's starting out my top 10. Number 9.
Martinis, girls and guns, it's murder on our love affair.
From what I understand, Tomorrow Never Dies isn't a very popular song amongst the Bond fandom, but I really like it. I like the lyrics. I'll agree that I think a better singer could have been found for the song. At times, Crow sounds like a hoarse cat screeching away, but I love the music, I love the violins. I think the song is perhaps unfairly judged when compared to its sister song, Surrender by K.D. Lang, which is undoubtedly the song of Tomorrow Never Dies. But if this Sheryl Crow song was indeed a rushed last-minute job so they could have a title song with the name of the film in it, sung by a pretty woman, then in my opinion they did a pretty good job. Number 8. You Know My Name by Chris Cornell is a harsh, brutal song. It feels like it's been smoking too many cigarettes and drinking too much whiskey. Chris Cornell is a great, rough and gruff voice, and the song suits Casino Royale brilliantly. This was a song that I hadn't actually listened to before seeing Casino Royale for the first time in the cinema, so I was blown away by the opening title sequence. I mean, if Daniel Craig doesn't win you over in the opening scenes, this song surely must bring you over. I also like that they went with a rock kind of man song for Casino Royale. It made thematic sense, but it also just felt like a nice change from warbly ballady songs, and feels like a real return to A View to a Kill, The Living Daylights kind of song. Number 7. Wait, this is where I cheat a bit. I'm not overly keen on the Man with the Golden Gun main title song, but towards the end of the film we have this.
Good night, good night. Sleep well, my dear. No need to fear. James Bond is here.
Which I love. This song is at its best to me when it's slower, more jazzy, more lounge music-y, I guess. I agree that the lyrics are poor and whatever, but I really wish the actual main title song was like this version. I it. And actually, no, you know what? These lyrics are kind of fun, right? I've read reviews that have said this song is just one long stream of smut, and it kind of is. I mean, even John Barry was kind of ashamed of this song. I think he was quoted as saying it's the one that he hated the most and that it just never clicked or happened for him or something like that. But you know what? It suits the film that it's tied to. Number 6. Oh, nothing beats that opening, does it? The first 19 seconds of A View to a Kill are so powerful, it's awesome, and the rest of the song is pretty great too. Apparently Duran Duran got the job on A View to a Kill by approaching Cubby Broccoli and saying, "Hey, when are you going to let someone good do a Bond song?" And so they got the job that way. It's a real rocking kind of tune, which is refreshing after you have Nobody Does It Better, then Moonraker, then For Your Eyes Only, then All Time High, which are all kind of similar pace, and then you get A View to a Kill, which just wakes you right back up again. It's a really great song, I love it. I don't quite understand most of the lyrics, I'll admit that. I don't... It seems to just be a big long string of non sequiturs to me. If someone could explain the meaning behind the song, unless it's kind of written from Max Zorin's insane perspective of life. But well, whatever, it's a brilliant tune and a great song. Number 5. This one must be on, everyone's top 10 Bond songs, right? It's also the one that I hear the most, outside of Bond fandom, Bond films, in the real world, if you can say that. By that I mean, it's on TV shows like The X Factor all the time, and Paul McCartney usually likes to crack it out whenever he's singing at some Jubilee or Olympic thing, and it's easy to see why. It's a great song. It's certainly eclectic, but that's part of its charm, I guess. I love how tied it is with the actual score for Live and Let Die. I find it hard to imagine Live and Let Die scored by any other composer or matched with any other song. It's just a perfect marriage here, which is why Live and Let Die is number 5 on my list. Number 4. Okay, like the Man with the Golden Gun, this is kind of another cheaty one, really. I really like the Matt Monro song, but the version of this song I absolutely adore is the musical version used in the opening credits. Oh, I love it so much. The official track on the album is called Opening Titles, James Bond is Back, / From Russia with Love / James Bond Theme, but it just all merges together so well. It's so beautiful. I love this track so much. I know I'm breaking my spoken word rule here, singer rule, that I made at the beginning of this video, but it's not that I don't love the Matt Monro version, it's just that this is my preferred From Russia with Love track. It's gorgeous, it's wonderful, I love it. Number 3. This song is one that just screams Bond to me. It starts slow, but it builds and builds and builds. Oh, this one was written by David Arnold and Don Black, and it weaves into the score of the film so wonderfully. I only have positive adjectives to associate with this song, much like how I film, really. Garbage do a wonderful job with the performance. It's a definite favourite of mine. I love this song. Number 2.
The truth is now what I say.
Surrender is probably the biggest tragedy of the James Bond discography. It was supposed to be the title song on Tomorrow Never Dies, and all the way through the score of that film you can hear little bits of Surrender, but at the last minute I guess it was decided Sheryl Crow had a better profile than K.D. Lang, or maybe they just wanted a song that had the same title as the film, but whatever the reason, it's a real shame. Surrender is a great, bombastic, belting Bond song. It has a classic but contemporary feel, and I love it so much. I'm so glad that this song is regularly included on Bond compilation tracks and such, because it really does need more credit and recognition, because it is the true title song from Tomorrow Never Dies. Number 1. Yes, it's the latest Bond song, so maybe it's unfair for me to rank it top. I mean, since it hasn't really had much time to fit in yet with the rest of the 007 discography, but it's such a beautiful song. It's already in my top 3 most listened to songs on iTunes. My understanding amongst the fandom is that this is a well-received song, and I'm so glad, because it's not necessarily a traditional Bond song. Or is it? I mean, yeah, it has the big long note at the end, but it's a more haunting, more sentimental song than we're used to, and in that respect it fits the film quite well. I only wish they could have included more of the song in the score of the film itself. I think we only really get one instance of it, am I right, when Bond is arriving at the floating casino? But hey, I can't complain too much, at least it's in there. And hey, you know what, it converted me to Adele, totally. I was never a fan of Adele, but this song, she just totally won me over. It's wonderful. Whether Skyfall will remain my top Bond song is yet to be seen, but for right here and right now, it's the top of my personal list. So, that's it. Please don't crucify me. And yes, I know that Goldfinger isn't on this list, but I mean, like, How can anyone have that on their iTunes, on shuffle? I mean, like, I'll be sat there at my computer and then when it comes on, I'll be blasted into the next room. It's so loud. So, how do we match up on this one? Do you agree or disagree? Leave a comment below and we'll find out. And yes, stay tuned for more Best of Bond videos. So long.